The NBA playoffs started this weekend. The NFL draft is 4 days out. A bear costume just got entered into evidence in California, and baseball is already upside down. It's a good week to be a sports fan. Let's get into it. The NBA playoffs are upon us, and I want to do something a little bit different to introduce the matchups. Every playoff series is a movie, and I have the trailers. The number 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder play the 8 seed Phoenix Suns. Small market, young guys, earned everything. The whole league wanted OKC to win, and they did. Now, Shea is the best player in basketball, and everyone has an opinion about how he gets to the free throw line. That's the tax. You win enough, the love turns. The villain era, welcome to the other side. The number 1 seed Detroit Pistons played the number 8 seed Orlando Magic. 2 years ago, this franchise in Detroit won 14 games. Now Cade Cunningham and the Pistons are the 1 seed. Nobody outside Detroit thinks this is close. Detroit doesn't care what anybody outside Detroit thinks. Prove them wrong in theaters now. The number 2 seed Boston Celtics play the number 7 seed Philadelphia 76ers. Tatum's back, Brown never left. 2 of the best wings in basketball, same team, same goal. But Philadelphia is standing in the way. That is if Embiid can get off the training table. This should be Boston's series, should be unfinished business. The number 3 seed New York Knicks play the 6 seed Atlanta Hawks. The celebrities are courtside. Spike Lee in row 1 like he never left. Dolan on the radio telling everyone that this is the year. Jalen Brunson has carried this city all season. Atlanta has been quietly surging. New York has every reason to win this series. Atlanta has every reason to ruin it. See the thrilling slasher everyone is talking about this summer, New York City Nightmares. The number 4 seed Cleveland Cavaliers play the 5 seed Toronto Raptors. 2 solid teams, decent records, competent coaching staffs. Donovan Mitchell against Scotty Barnes. Pretty all right. Rated G for everyone. Also rated almost completely unwatchable for everyone in theaters because it has to be. The number 2 seed San Antonio Spurs play the 7 seed Portland Trailblazers. Scientists said it wasn't possible. 7'3", a wingspan that has no business existing. Victor Wembanyama is not from a normal place. Portland made it out of the play-in on Hart. They have no idea what's coming. First contact, the invasion starts now. The 3 seed Denver Nuggets play the 6 seed Minnesota Timberwolves. 2023, the coronation. Denver wins in 5. It wasn't close. 2024, the revenge. Minnesota, down 20 in Game 7, comes all the way back, eliminates the defending champions on their own floor. Now it's 2026. Jokic and Anthony Edwards. 1 series each. This is the one that decides it. The reckoning. No more sequels after this. The 4 seed Los Angeles Lakers play the 5 seed Houston Rockets. LeBron and Bronny, father and son, first ever in a playoff game. But nobody's talking about LeBron's other son. 2012 NBA Finals, LeBron took Kevin Durant in 4 games to 1. Didn't just beat him, claimed him. Said, "You're my kid now." Is KD all grown up and ready to beat LeBron with his own team? We'll find out as LeBron plays with one son this series and against the other. Father and Sons, coming to a Los Angeles theater near you. A few other quick hits on the NBA playoffs. The NBA did confirm this week that Luka and Cade Cunningham are both eligible for postseason awards, despite not hitting 65 games. I'm slightly concerned about the precedent that this sets and the actual expectation or reasoning behind why the league decided on 65, but now are being flexible. I fully agree that Cade Cunningham and Luka shouldn't miss out on postseason awards after the caliber and quality of seasons that they had, but it just does make me nervous, the precedent that might be set for future years. And if 64 games is fine, might 63 games be fine? Might 62 games be fine? Where do you draw that line? I saw an episode of a podcast with Doc Rivers talking about his strictness with players and them being on time to practice and comparing it to the 65 game rule of players being upset sometimes about being 1 minute late. And Doc saying, well, where do I draw the line? If you're a minute late, you're late. and I've drawn a line at when the expectation is to attend practice or be here for the team meeting. We drew a line at 65, and Cade and Luka didn't meet that line that was drawn. And so what does it say if we're willing to move that line for certain players for certain circumstances? I don't know. Speaking of NBA awards, though, I do want to establish throughout the rest of these playoffs my first team All-NBA that will have been created as a result of the full regular season, but that we will iterate on week after week as players play themselves onto the what we might call the all postseason team. And so it will grow from what was the regular season all NBA starting five to the postseason awards top five players. So right now for me, Shea, who's going to be MVP, is on that list. Luka Doncic, who is injured right now and likely won't play in the playoffs, so who will likely fall off of that list. Cade Cunningham, who's back for the playoffs and who is tight in the MVP races. Wembanyama, and then Jokic. So those five guys right now would be my All-NBA team. We'll track this as we move into the playoffs on who might fall off of that list and who might get onto it as the sort of all-tournament team. The last thing I'm thinking about and wondering, and I would appreciate comments on this over email, does LeBron's 2015 Cavs without Kyrie and without Kevin Love beat or lose to LeBron's 2026 Lakers, who are without Reeves and without Luka? Some of the 2015 role players, Delly, Tristan, Shumpert, J.R. Smith, they forced 6 games with the 67-win Warriors team. The 2026 supporting cast for LeBron, Hachimura, Ayton, Kennard, and obviously young Bronny. To me, it's a conversation about which LeBron was better, and obviously 2015 LeBron is scarier, but I'm interested if anybody has a different opinion. 2015 LeBron Cavs versus the 2026 LeBron Lakers. Who wins? The NFL draft. I'm not going to tell you what your team should do. You already know what your team needs. You've been staring at mock drafts for weeks. But here are a few storylines that might make draft night and the rest of the draft weekend interesting outside of you following who your team is selecting and when. First, Ty Simpson, the quarterback that nobody can agree on. 15 starts in 4 years at Alabama. Dan Orlovsky says quarterback 1 over Mendoza. Matt Miller, though, couldn't find a single team giving him a first-round grade. Jets flew to Alabama on a private jet. He's projected anywhere from pick 20 to pick 50. We'll see where he goes. One of the other names I'll be watching closely, Jeremiah Love. Does he go top 5? DraftKings right now has the over-under for him at 4.5. Market traditionally or historically says that he probably will slide. One key point, any running back selected in the top 5 automatically becomes one of the highest paid running backs in the league before ever playing a snap. And that is while teams find high-level running back talent every year in free agency for a fraction of the cost. The positional value debate is always alive when it comes to running backs early in the draft. If you're looking who might fall in this year's draft, there's not going to be a Shadur Sanders story like there was last year. But someone who might fall is Akeem Mesidor, the Miami edge rusher. Best pass rusher tape in the class, but he's 25 years old. Would be the first defensive end taken in round 1 at that age since 1948. He has 2 prior foot injuries, and if medical flags anything, he'll likely slide from late first to day 2 entirely. The trade you might watch for on day 1, Bengals already traded pick 10 to Giants for Dexter Lawrence. It sets up chaos in the back half of the top 10. Cardinals, Titans, Browns, Commanders all want to move down, but nobody wants to trade up in a weak quarterback class. The Saints are at 8. The Cowboys are at 12, are the most likely to get aggressive for Love or Sonny Styles. Watch your team, enjoy the night. Pittsburgh in April for the NFL draft is going to be a scene. Full recap coming next week. Now we can do a quick hit of 3 other stories you might find interesting from this week. 2 sports, 1 not. 3 people in California just got sentenced for what investigators are calling Operation Bear Claw. 3 guys submitted insurance claims on a Rolls-Royce Ghost and 2 Mercedes, claiming a bear broke in and destroyed the interiors. They had a video. A wildlife biologist reviewed the footage, and his official conclusion, clearly a human in a bear suit. They executed a search warrant. They found the costume at the house. 3 people, 2 years probation, 180 days of weekend jail. I just want to know who wore the suit. Was it a group decision? Did someone volunteer? Did they audition? These are the questions the justice system failed to answer, and that's Operation Bear Claw. Baseball's 3 weeks in. Here's what you need to know. The Mets are a disaster. $370 million payroll, second in baseball, and they just extended their losing streak to 11 games. They've scored 18 runs during that stretch. That's 1.8 runs a game. They signed Tony Pham as a solution. The manager's seat is hot 3 weeks in, and it's genuinely impressive. Shohei Ohtani has an on-base streak that just hit 51 games. He's pitching, he's hitting, he's doing things that make you wonder if we're watching the best player in baseball has seen in quite some time. Mike Trout is back, 5 homers in 4 games at Yankee Stadium, the most by any visiting player in a single series there. And the San Diego Padres are being sold for $3.9 billion, the highest price ever paid for an MLB franchise. That's baseball. Mets in shambles, Ohtani is an alien, Trout's back, and the Padres are the most expensive baseball franchise ever sold. See you in a few months for the standings that actually matter. Like the NBA playoffs, the Stanley Cup Playoffs also started this weekend. Here's a 1-minute case for why you should watch the Stanley Cup Playoffs this year. Forget fighting. Physicality spikes dramatically in the playoffs. Players are too smart to drop the gloves and take a 5-minute major when a series is on the line. So instead, they just destroy each other legally. It's the most controlled violence in sports. And goaltending, it becomes everything. One goalie gets hot and it carries an entire franchise. That's why upsets happen in hockey in a way they almost never do in basketball. The matchup I'm watching, Connor McDavid and Edmonton. He has lost in the Stanley Cup final the last 2 years. He's the best player in hockey. He's never won the Stanley Cup. Colorado's the favorite out of the West, Carolina out of the East. But in hockey, ignore the favorites. And that'll do it for episode 3 of the Glue Guy podcast. No guest, no listener takes this week. We're still working through some logistics on that side of things, and I'd rather get it right than rush it. There are some things in the works, though, that I'm genuinely excited about and think you will be too. In the meantime, I'm going to keep showing up every week with the takes, the breakdowns, and the stuff that actually matters. Thanks for being here while we build this thing, and I'll see you next Monday.